yes, this experiment is about finding love, but there's also another very important stream that runs through this experiment. It's about finding your worth. It is about learning to find your voice.
I know, at least we can all be emotional, because I didn't expect them to really put that clip about what Mel said the experiment encompasses, but I felt it was important as we come to the end of the season. And besides, this is the last time we'll hear whatever she did that, is not a rerun. I loved I really loved the reunion. I'm really sad that there were couples that were not addressed. I would have preferred that we heard about David and Alyssa more than actually Tyson, because Tyson hasn't changed. He's still the same person he was in the experiment. So I'm really sad about that. Danny not coming. Danny already told us he wasn't coming. And for Bec to sit there and watch herself was embarrassing, yes, but it needed to be done. She needed to see herself in that light, because we were all sort of confused and having whiplash throughout the experiment. So I'm not surprised that they decided to show her that she actually had this idea of her marriage that really wasn't it. So I'm happy for that. And then, I love that Stella and Filip got to be the happily ever after. And that's where they decided to conclude the season, because at the end of the day, they came in for marriage, others came in for clout, as far as I'm concerned, and they got what they wanted. And I think it's important that we reinforce the purpose of the experiment. Anyway, I digress. Hey there, thanks for stopping by. To go Valerie. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Married at First Sight Australia, Season 13, Episode 39. This is the last episode of the season. Anyway, I might take a look at Alyssa and David sort of chat that they had on the after party. I'll think about it. And if I find anything interesting, then I might review that at some point. But anyway, we start off with everybody's there but David, Juliet, and then we had Brooke and her husband Chris were not there as well. I assume they were all uninvited outside of Danny, because Danny said he wasn't coming. So we got to see the couples, them getting married. So we got to see them walk down the aisle to their, stranger partner, say their vows and get married. And everybody, it was nice for them to walk down memory lane and sort of reminisce on what they had been throughout the experience. So that was something that I really liked. I remember they did speak to someone first before they spoke to Chris, but I don't remember who it was, and I'm too lazy to sort of rewind to see who it was. They spoke to Chris. He spoke about the fact that he's now got a daughter. He was very emotional, and he was saying, whoever comes into his life will come in to join him and his daughter. But at the moment, he really is embracing and is enamored with his daughter, and is doing the best job that he can to be the best father that he can. And it's like, I think Chris shouldn't have signed up for the experiment. I think he was expecting a child. He should have focused on that and left everything else alone. But at the end of the day, him and Sam seem to be very happy. So if people are happy, I love it for them. Then we got to see Rachel and Steve on the couch. They were the first couple on the couch. They were asked what's happening. Steve was, he was sort of, I don't know exactly what he was doing. Anyway, Rachel then got to speak, and she said, he came to Melbourne and he told me that he couldn't give me what I wanted. And so he wanted her to wait until the next winter, because apparently his job is very busy and he only gets time in winter. And it's like, seriously, so you wanted to put her life on hold until winter. What if by winter your feelings are gone and you don't feel anything for her? What does she do with herself? Because she's already wasted all this time while she's waiting for you to wait for winter. He complained. He said, the problem was the distance, and he couldn't be the man that Rachel wanted him to be. And so Rachel was saying, he's refusing to change. His whole life is about what Steve wants and what's best for Steve. He's not willing to sort of compromise. I told him I wanted to be a priority, and he didn't want to make me a priority. And so eventually you had the experts say to them, so what are we doing? He's put his ring back on, yes, but what does that mean? Is he now going to prioritize you or not? And you had Steve sit there for forever. Rachel said yes, she was still willing to give it a shot. He sat there for forever. He's another one that dragged this woman through the mud, but decided to get a positive edit and appear as though he was a dum-dum when he actually knew what he was doing. I think he was one of the most villainous people this season, but he played on the good guy and sort of naive character to get away with whatever he wanted. And eventually everybody started to complain that you need to tell Rachel the truth. Tell her the truth. It's selfish for you to sit there and keep quiet. And then he said, well, I have to just, say that at the end of the day, let's just put a bullet in it. I want to continue with the divorce because I don't think I have time or I have the capacity or the bandwidth to deal with her. that was devastating for Rachel, because she already said she was worried that he might go back to his hometown and sort of forget about her. And that's what he did. He really wasn't that into her. He really wasn't. Because if he was into her, he wouldn't have needed to be sort of taught how to look after a woman, how to love on a woman, how to be emotionally or physically intimate with a woman. So the idea that we are making it seem like this man was as naive as he's playing out to be, no, I don't. I love that the experts held his feet to the fire until he owned up and said, actually, I don't want to make this marriage work. I'm moving on. He wasn't attracted to her. He wasn't emotionally invested. So the idea that we're all trying to make it seem like, this is something new, it's nothing new. Everybody saw it coming a mile away. We can all say that and be honest. Anyway, so they're both going their separate ways. I really hope they find their person. I really hope Rachel this time, with all the tools and skills and all the red flags she's seen in the experiment, she prioritizes that and sort of makes sure that in future she sort of, as soon as someone shows her those red flags, she either sees if they're going to work on them or she keeps it stepping and doesn't waste the time. Next up, we're Gia and Scott. Gia and Scott, for me, I don't get it. Because you had Scott say, I wasn't myself. I was lied to. She lied to me that she was in Melbourne with her child when she was actually still around with Chris, and they were in a pub drinking. I saw how she behaved on the greener grass, greener pastures, I think, or when they were shown their alternate, and she told the guy that should be done in 10 days so he could find her on MAFS. And it's like, personally, I'm not amazed. I'm not surprised, because I remember saying it, that these people are saying they've got a high sex drive, and it seems this is what they're focused on. They're going to find someone with the same drive, but they're going to struggle because emotionally there'll be nothing there. And this is what happened, because this man finally managed to find someone who matched his freak, and she matched his freak, but emotionally she wasn't there. She was just there to be on TV. Gia, on her part, saw how bad it made her look because this man was crying, and she decided to sort of, cry as well to create drama. I love that they had a montage when he was asked on his part, what were the red flags, and they said, she kept leaving, and she kept sort of, I feel like Gia kept trying to manipulate him and sort of using things against him. Like, if you don't do this, then I'm leaving. If you do that, then I'll say, if you do. And I think this was their major problem. So for production to queue up all the times that she said she was leaving, it was a bad edit, really bad. And everybody could see felt bad for Scott, because it wasn't a good look on Gia's part. It wasn't. It was really terrible. Having a storm off and saying I'm going, having all this, that, and the other. I didn't like it, and I'm not amused that this is where they were, because at the end of the day, they were never going to work. As long as they continued down the path they were on, they were never going to work. Gia said, I feel embarrassed about my behavior. I have work to do. I should have left. I was in love with him. I regret pressuring him and silencing him and just being cruel. And it's like, no, I'm not buying it, especially after we saw the clip of Gia and Bec coaching each other. So tears, to me, I do not conform to their tears. Sadly, I do not conform, because they know they were terrible in this experience. Gia knows she was terrible, and instead of taking responsibility and actually giving a full-hearted apology, I thought her apology was a half thingy, because she started crying, and then you had Scott sort of have to lean over and cuddle her and sort of try and sort of help pacify her. That wasn't necessary. She says she's moved to the Gold Coast. Apparently, they are now friends. I really am not buying it. He has chosen to focus on the happier times. Do I think he should be doing that? No. I think it's a waste of his time. I think Gia was there to be on TV and to get the clout. She got the clout. Now she's ready to go and be an influencer and do whatever else she wants to do. Tyson and Steph are a bit of a conundrum for me. Personally, I don't understand why they call them up, because at the end of the day, we can't call a toxic couple just to berate one person and leave the other person and just say, oh, actually, your values and your beliefs align. I have said it before, I'll say it again, and I'll continue to say it. Steph is more scary, in my opinion, than Tyson. She is more scary than Tyson, because at least with Tyson, you call a spade a spade. It walks like a duck, looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, is a duck. With Steph is the snake in the grass, so you never know when she's going to strike. This is what I don't like, because she is just as toxic and messy as he is. They're both MAGAs. At the end of the day, they both believe in these conservative values. So the idea that we are only putting Tyson on blast, I didn't like that. They called him out for the fact that, he said he wanted a woman in her mid-20s. He's previously broken up with an ex because she had a high body count. He wanted a submissive wife. He said, he should have, they were told you should have worked or they should have tried to make things better. Tyson is one of those people who live in the 1920s, if not in the 18th century, because at the end of the day, all he wants is a wife who's at home looking after him, looking after his kids, making sure the house is tidy, the food is on the table when he walks in. That's the impression that I get. You had him sort of say that Steph was very untidy. I didn't like how everything was very vague. Yes, they did show the clip about, as Chris expecting a child and how Tyson reacted to that. But I wish we had heard exactly what this woman believes, because you telling everybody that they have the same beliefs doesn't make sense if you're not going to show what the beliefs are, what the values are. The experts had to call Tyson out several times before eventually he was called out by the other guys in the experiment, and then John had to step in. This is what I think. Tyson is a student of his environment. Wherever he grew up, whatever he was brought up on, whatever beliefs were instilled in him is what he's stuck in. And it's going to be difficult for you to sort of drum it out of him. Every time John speaks, he's silent. And then as soon as the woman starts speaking, he has to give his own input. So they are a toxic couple who I don't think should have been given any more time to sort of sit there and parrot whatever nonsense they were parroting. I think they should have put Alyssa and David up instead of putting Tyson and his wife, because they're just as bad as one another. For Steph to try and play the victim, she's not a victim. Steph is just as bad. She believes in the same things. We've already seen, her montage when she was initially about to get married. So the idea that we only saw it then and it's never been brought up, I don't like it. If we're going to talk about her, let's talk about him and let it be. And then you had Mel speak to the women. The women this season were terrible. They were appalling, really appalling. I think everybody wanted to be the star. And because the only way they knew they could be the star was to create drama and toxicity. So I love that we got to see a montage of everything from the hen do all the way until the final dinner party and how people behaved in that sort of environment. People like Mel are followers. Mel is a follower. Brooke, Gia and Bec are the main leaders of that toxicity. And Gia likes to pretend like she's a follower. She's not a follower. She's a master manipulator. She's the ringleader of the Mean Girls Club. So the idea that she was sort of sitting there and started crying, you had Bec try and pretend to cry as well. I wasn't buying it. I really wasn't buying it. So in the end, they showed everything, including the text messages. They showed David and Alyssa sort of reading the messages. It was terrible. You had Bec say, I was a horrible person. Alicia said to her, no, I'm not going to take your apology because this is repetitive behavior. Every time you do something, you're called out on it, you come back, you apologize. Where it's in the same vicious cycle. I'm grateful for David because there were days that I couldn't even get out of bed. So the idea that you are here and saying you want to make amends, I'm not buying it. And so I love that Lisa was able to give credit to David for what he did for her, but I wish we had got to hear more of their connection and what happened there. On her part, Gia tried to apologize as well. She said, I based my opinion of you on rumors that I'd heard from Bec. It doesn't matter whether you heard it from Bec, from production or whatever. You can't justify that appalling behavior. And I love that the rest of the wives in the experiment actually called them out. And the husbands were actually standing with their wives. Even David was actually backing Alyssa, even though they're not in the best of spaces. So I really love that. But it's sad that it had to come to this, where people had to be shown their behavior in 4K. And you can't run away from that. Sadly, it seems Bec has faced the consequences of her actions. Apparently, she lost her job. With Gia, I don't know. I don't think Gia can ever go back to healthcare because every time they play that, no one will want them to look after her or facilitate their care. So chances are she's going to be an influencer until Kingdom comes or until she finds a very rich husband. We then had Bec come out because the problem with Bec was Danny said he wasn't coming. I think she should have been wiser. She should have kept quiet at the dinner party and waited for him to try and come to the reunion, and then he could have been called out. But I think because Bec gave him so much smoke at the dinner party, that's why he decided not to come. We were shown the whole montage from the day they got married all the way, the issues they had in their marriages, the fact that, you had Bec being ecstatic, saying, oh, last night was amazing, blow the trumpet, the trumpet and whatever. And Danny, you could see skin was crawling. He was actually feeling bad for having done it. You could actually tell from the look on his face. I think, as I said before, I think there was something about her that once they took off their clothes, he didn't like. Because prior to them taking off their clothes, he liked her. And then the moment they took off their clothes, he didn't like it. Whether she had skin graft, or some sort of whatever happened, whether it was saggy skin from the weight loss, something must have put him off, and he never was able to jump on the bandwagon. And so for you to have, Bec sitting there saying, "Oh, we're the strongest ever, we're the strongest ever, we're the strongest ever," well, he is going behind her back and saying, "No, this is not it for me. I don't like it. I really don't like it." He was asked, "Are you falling in love with Bec?" He said he would never in a month of Sundays fall in love with Bec. And so it's really sad that he was hinting that he didn't have these feelings for this woman. Those feelings would never come no matter what happened. And so the idea that Bec kept sort of riding and saying, "Oh, we're happy, we're happy, we're happy." Bec was not as naive as she tried to make out to be. I think she knew that this man didn't like her. The comments that he made about the dog and why the dog liked him, or the fact that he said women will be queuing for him, the two of them knew that there was nothing there. They decided to continue in this relationship so that they could be on TV. Sadly, it backfired for the two of them. I think Danny, had he just not come, had he not alerted production to the fact that he wasn't coming because of the fact that he didn't want to be held to his feet to be held to the fire, then we wouldn't have seen all this. But because of the comments he made at the dinner party, I think this is why we got to see this negative edit for him. Stella and Filip, they are the poster children for this season. They really are in love. They really are the happily ever after. So they sat there and sort of spoke about their relationship. And Filip was asked, "When did you know that this was your person?" And he said, "Well, what happened is I spoke to my parents and asked them. They've been married for 40 something years and I've got to experience their relationship. So I asked them, when did you know?" And the dad told him that the fact that you're asking means you already know. It means you already know. So we got to see their relationship and the development and the progression. And I love that on her part, Stella said, "I'm happy that whatever turbulence came, they happened while we were in the experiment. And you guys were able to step up and help us and support us and give us the tools that we needed to overcome the issues we were facing in our marriage. So we are in this space that we're in because of you guys." They got the introduction from the experts at the end of the day. So it's really sad that Mel won't be there to see them walk down the aisle. They did say they're getting married. I think they said in 2027, if I'm not mistaken. They did show their proposal and how excited they both were. I love it for Stella and Filip. I think Stella and Filip are a testament to the fact that if you come in ready and are really willing to put in the work, you'll find your person. She asked for her soulmate. She asked for the happily ever after. She got that. I love that they reference to each other as home. Filip was asked, he said Stella is everything to him and he feels at peace with her. Stella said he is home. And so she doesn't care where they live, whether they live in Sydney or whether they live in a tent in the middle of nowhere. I think because she's had this issue whereby her parents left her with her grandparents and she's really struggled as an adult to sort of find safety or harness herself to a place to say, "This is where my home is." So the fact that she's found this man and they're in this happy space, I love it for the two of them. I root for love and I always want people to succeed. So I'm so happy that Stella and Filip found their one. The little montage from Mel really made me cry because it's something that I wasn't expecting. I was really in tears. I was really sad because it's death is a guest that comes without you knowing. So I hope her family are healing and they're being supported and provided love. And I also hope that the participants, that were the most recent participants, are also receiving support and love from the show, because grief is a terrible beast to harness. So I wish them all the best. Anyway, it was a great season. I really enjoyed it. I can't wait to see what happens next. I will be reviewing the next show that comes up. Otherwise, at the moment, I'm trying as and when to watch Love is Blind because it's a bit boring. Anyway, thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Click on the link in my video to watch my review from episode 38. Bye guys.